Swearing in process and the getting into office by the now deputy governor Kananu is, in my view, an attempt to, you know, bypass the clear constitutional principles that Kenyans established when they passed this constitution in 2020. For instance, there is no public participation as provided for in Article 10 of the Constitution. This thing was done almost in a similar manner to the way the former President Kibaki was sworn in under the cover of darkness in 2007. So it evokes very bad memories, and if we continue like this, we will tear apart our constitution, and it sets a bad precedent for Kenyans. The least they would have done is to let all other stakeholders participate in the process of getting a deputy governor for Nairobi. You know, and of course, we know that there was another process ongoing where the speaker had been sworn in to act for a period of time pending the holding of by-elections. Again, we may start reading political motives along that line, but in terms of law, it is a clear and blatant a violation of the constitutional principles that Kenyans fought so hard to have in place right now. Now that Mutura has relinquished power and has stepped aside, of course, because there's a vacuum, one may argue that the deputy governor now steps in and, may even be allowed to, for instance, appoint a deputy governor, and so that she can become governor and then appoint a deputy to stand with her. Now, I think this are the subject of court cases that will be filed or have been filed, and it is good for us to wait for the courts to see exactly what would happen, because what happened was that the creation of an unnecessary constitutional mess and an unnecessary legal um, complexity by the powers that be and by the people who are engaging in this. So for now, my advice would be that Kananu should just sit tight and wait and see what happens, for the courts to do their work. Of course, she may choose to just take up the office of the governor and see what she must do. But then we know that we have the NMS in place. And of course, the NMS has been delivering services that Nairobians so far seem to be happy about. So again, she will need to find a way of navigating the presence of the NMS and the office of the governor or deputy governor, as it were. And in my view, we have less than how many years to the next general elections? 1 year to the next elections. So if she were to hold the position of governor, the best thing for her would be to position herself to become the substantive governor come 2022. So to align herself with NMS, to be seen to be working cordially and jointly with NMS, so that she may position herself to be the first female governor in Nairobi or in Kenya. No, first female governor of Nairobi, sorry, because we already have female governors in Kenya anyway. So for now, we are getting into election season, into politicking season. There's a lot of machinations and a lot of moves being made. So for now, she may just discharge the functions of her office, but know that because I believe that she's beholden to other powers. From what is happening, she's beholden to other powers. So she may be just be used to achieve other ends and not necessarily to deliver services for the people of Nairobi. But sticking to the law, the manner in which she came into office is questionable. Now that Mutura has stepped aside, there's a vacuum, of course. By-elections may not be held, but depending on what the courts say, we may still have by-elections. Now, the key areas she should focus on, in my view, not to go against NMS. NMS are doing a great job, but of course, because of the deed that was signed by the former governor, it gave certain functions to the national government through NMS, and then certain functions are still being retained by the county government. So she should ensure that, number one, the functions that the county government has should continue to be discharged as per the law. And secondly, the capacity that the county needs to be able to take back those functions in 2022 should be put in place, so that when we come to the next election cycle and the next county government, we will not have a scenario where NMS is already there. In terms of appointing a deputy and cabinet reshuffles, again, what does the law say? Can a deputy governor who has come into office after the impeachment of a governor, do they have the powers to appoint a deputy? So those are some of the questions that need to be determined to enable us see whether or not she's able to even appoint a deputy, because a question arises. A governor will appoint a deputy governor. So for her, who is the appointing authority? The instrument of appointment of Governor Kananu. Who is going to sign that instrument of appointment? Because there is no substantive governor. So who signs it? And then, does she have the authority to then appoint other people? So those are the questions that need to be asked. And the High Court is a useful forum. It is a proper forum for the determination of some of those questions, which have not been anticipated by those who have put us into this scenario. So let's wait and see. It's going to be a bumpy ride for the next couple of weeks. Let's wait and see what happens. But all in all, it's good in terms of constitutional practice. Let us test the constitution, but let's not mutilate the constitution.